Magandang hapon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to
Good
everybody.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Yossi and Janix.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so we'll go right into it. So welcome to the session on data center, network security, AI-driven threat detection and response. So in sessions like this, I always like to discuss the matter at hand using the framework of people, process, and technology. It makes it easier, breaking it down. But we'll focus on technology and people.
Yes.
Right? The Philippine data center market, right, is looking really very bright. It's one bright area. It's driven by digital transformation projects, especially in government. There's a lot of government initiatives, like the implementation of the National Cybersecurity Plan 2028, which has been issued under executive order. This is the presidential executive order number 58, requiring all government agencies to comply with and implement the National Cybersecurity Plan. Plus, of course, the anticipated legislation in e-government, cybersecurity, and connectivity, among others. So, in the last 2.5 decades, I've been lobbying for ICT-related laws in Congress. So that's part of the job, right? Now, with the anticipated growth comes, of course, cybersecurity concerns, like cyber attacks, data breaches, which is impacting government institutions, businesses, and even individual citizens. We've seen actually exponential growth. So I've always been, Titus knows this, I've been saying that attacks and malware have been growing in volume, variety, intensity, complexity, right? And even cost, right? So, AI adoption is, of course, quickly transforming the practice, cybersecurity practice, and cybersecurity operations, particularly in the area of threat detection and response. At SOCs, for example, you have a large amount of data that you have to work on, and it's getting larger, actually, as your organization grows and even as data centers are set up. I do remember in the 2022 elections, I think there were about 32 million attempts on the system. No, we did not see. Okay, so my first question is, how is AI transforming network security, in particular threat detection and response? Yossi, would you like to?
Yeah, thank you. In the plenary session just an hour ago, I heard the CISO of St. Luke Bank talking about their endeavor to move to the cloud, but the dangers that also the challenges that they may face. And one of the challenges that the realization that moving to the cloud basically will increase the cyber attacks by in a very exponential way. And this is because of the use of AI. So AI is basically, it's a bless if you know how to use it, but it's also a curse if it's used by someone that wants to attack you. And this is what we are seeing today, that the numbers of cyber attacks using AI, actually AI brought the bar for cyber attacks, lowered the bar for cyber attacks. So any kids in the street that has some IT knowledge can go and buy in the darknet a vulnerability, and that's just with some development language, create a script and attack you. And this is the simple people. What about the geeks? And what about nation-led attacks? Just an anecdote. Last April, there was a hearing in the Security Committee of the Congress, and they brought the FBI director to talk about cyber attacks. And they asked him who is the most, where is the biggest threat that the U.S. US is facing. And he said that China. And the reason is that for every defender from all the security agencies or defense agencies in the US, there are 50 attackers. So the only way, and now and this is just China, not to mention the other countries, nation-led attacks. So the only way to protect yourself is by using AI. And basically, the AI will allow you to, if you are using it correctly and you use the right language for AI, to do the right discovery, to do the right vulnerability, to get the right detection and the remediation for your organization.
So you're basically saying that AI at the same time being a benefit,
Yes.
it has been weaponized. It's being weaponized, right?
Yes.
But let's look at some advantages and disadvantages. Janex, you maybe.
I think I think if you look at advantages and disadvantages, Yoshi already mentioned from a disadvantage perspective that from an offense perspective from the other side, they have so many tools that you can see even the ones that are not very well learned when it comes to cybersecurity, they can already do so many things, right? And that's from a beginner perspective. What if the person becomes now a little bit more experienced, or they are actually coming from a nation, right? They have the right tools and trainings. On the advantage side, it comes also from a defensive perspective. What are the different tools? AI has been here already for so long, right? Your EDRs are equipped with machine learning and behavioral intelligence. Gone are the days that you're waiting for signatures to be patched already. And basically what cybersecurity people should be looking at are the capabilities of different platforms or systems that can do behavioral analytics even better, right? This moves you towards the capability to now defend against zero-day attacks, things like that. But that is on the solution perspective. You can also consider this from a platform perspective, whereby how many information do I ingest in 1 second or in a day? You mentioned earlier that last 2022, we ingested or we were able to identify 22 million attacks, right? So imagine if you have a SOC service looking at those 22 million, maybe they have like 15, 20, or 100 people looking at the glass. And that 22 million that they're trying to look at, they don't have enough eyes or time to really digest it. That's where AI comes in. That's where you get to put in machine learning, put in all the LLMs together, and create contextual information coming from those databases, right? Signifying, okay, if I have 22 million attacks, do I look at only 10 or 100 or 1,000 against looking at 22 million, right? So that's the advantage.
Okay, but okay.
I want to comment and just to take it a bit further. Today, I see the trend in the market, and I know that there are companies, AI companies, that basically develop LLMs for cyber. They take a blended generative AI, they take a blended LLMs, but they mix them with behavior graphs that are dedicated for cyber, and create something that you call CLM, Cyber Language Module, that basically is dedicated only for cyber. And this is where what he said, SOCs and all these platform that will be able to digest billions of information, not millions of cases, billions of information. Because if you look today at the market, you see millions of attacks every day. Every day, millions of attacks. Anyone can do attacks. all these scams that you have today, you know, the cyber scams, the love scams, the crypto scams, they all use AIs. And the only way to deal with them is really with a very enhanced cyber language models.
Okay. Well, but given that, that's a challenge. We all know that these types of AI, LLMs, you have to train the language model, the different agents. Okay. But what happens if I were to seed it? Seed, meaning I'll put in something negative,
Oh, okay.
attack types, for example, because what you in implementing AI models in cybersecurity, you try to identify the threats and come up with the counter attack or solutions, right? But what if I were to seed your CLM?
You mean how to deal with fake news?
Something similar.
On my end, you have to look at it two ways, right? And I've been talking about this. I've been sharing this to most of my panels, and there's one thing to use AI to protect things, and the other is protecting your own AI. So number one is to consider, if you're creating your own model, make sure to protect your database. You make sure to protect your own data, right? Putting it in a private perspective, not sharing it with any other people, making sure that your information or the data that you put in your LLMs are actually filtered. Because if you put in garbage, you will use garbage, right? So whether it's intentional coming from people who may have negative, they have negative intentions towards your own company or your own organization, or it's just a mistake coming from your own people who doesn't understand what the real data is and they're putting it in your LLMs, then that would be also a problem.
Yeah. But eventually you'd have also to see the actions in cybersecurity community. For example, if you're in a particular industry, right? Banking, for example, banking and finance. There's a lot of attacks going on in the banking and finance industries, but that they don't want to reveal. But see, one advantage, one thing that I've been pushing is sharing of information. If there's threat intelligence coming from the banking and finance industry, eventually you will have to share it because you will have also to learn from colleagues in the industry. But if you were to silo your LLMs or your CLM, then you will not get that benefit from others. So would you comment on that? Either.
This is where you come into governance, yes, because you can, at the end of the day, the AI is fed by information that you are giving him. In the future, it will be autonomous. He will go and find his own information, and he may use it against you. Okay, so this is one of the dangers of the AI. But this is where governments need to step in. If you have a breach in a bank, the bank has to share it. Yes, it has to share it to its shareholders. It has to share it to the government. So the government will know how to do that, and then will know how to protect and use with the other tools to protect it. So it's really, I heard a very nice podcast by a professor, a philosopher. He's an Israeli philosopher, very known in the world. And he said that the AI, for generation and generation and generation, people try to hack the human brain. The AI managed to do that. And this is the danger of the AI. So if we are not going to govern it and put ethical use against it, around it, then it will be the end of our days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, of course, expound on that. Me coming from a service organization where we offer SOC as a service, right? One of the things that we see is that you really cannot share information between my clients. If I have two banking clients, I cannot share information between them. But if you look at it from a threat intel perspective, which we have, then we can use that from going towards an LLM, right? That threat intelligence. Now, if I have a third party or I have my own threat intelligence, then those are actually vetted. So what is most important is when you put in data towards your LLMs, it must be vetted by somebody so that you're sure of the accuracy of the information you're feeding your AI with.
Yeah, that's right. But let's move on. We're pressed for time, actually, and getting signals.
Oh, are we?
Yes, this is a long discussion, actually. But I'd like to shift now with the work of analysts, security analysts. It's being transformed. It's being redefined. With AI, is the job on the way out? Or
I think that the next job is basically data analyst. Data
Okay.
analyst and data scientist. This is the next, 10 years ago it was app development. Now it's really data analyst.
You can say that. But of course, from a SOC as a service perspective, right? What is happening right now is I need less and less people. Because I don't need people that has fixated their eyes on the glass. But I need specialists. But
Yeah.
because after AI comes in and does the triage, I need to threat hunt. I need to talk to my customers. I need to do further investigation to veto and validate. Right? So maybe you are now removing some of the L1s and probably promoting them to L2, L3.
okay.
So you're not removing, you are changing their position.
So just one final question for this session. In the Philippines, we estimate that we need at least 180,000 cybersecurity workers at different levels. That's at least. Okay. How do you think AI will fill in the gap?
Oh, well, definitely AI is filling it up for me, right? So instead of me getting 100 people, I might need 10 or 20 for the job, right? They're filling it up on the level 1 perspective, but I still need the level 2, level 3. So I guess what's happening now is you're improving the type of work that is actually done by humans, and all the robotic works is being done by the AI.
There is a vision of AGI, artificial general intelligence, where the AI behave like a human being, and it think like a human being, and in some cases can replace the human being. Autonomous car, yes, robots, all this stuff. But you don't want to get to a situation when it replaces us completely and we become zombies. So this is where we think we need AI will do a lot of jobs, all the routine jobs that you have.
Yeah.
But the brain, also the brain and the proof, yes, the proof, and to make sure that there is no hallucination, it will be the human being.
Oh, great. I wish we had more time, right? But time's very short. Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions that you do not want to ask, you can ask now. Yeah. Go ahead. There you go. There you go. Please identify yourself and the question.
Hello, I'm Ice. Just what one piece of advice can you give us who are here right now, like to keep ourselves abreast with AI, so that AI will not be replacing us? Thank you.
I think that everyone need to apply AI. I'm not a technical person. I'm not an engineer, but I'm using AI. I'm using it in different levels to help me to do my job. And if you are not going to be, my personal belief, and I can see it, right now the AI adoption in companies is quite low. Yes, it's very low. But slowly we see the investment in AI and bringing AI to places where it's a routine, whether it's whether it can help actually the person to do a better job. But if you are not going to learn it, then you'll be irrelevant. So yes, go and learn AI. It's not something that we need to be afraid of.
For me, it's actually using it. You use it so that you can learn how to now transform the type of job that you're doing. I always relate Gen AI towards creating music, right? When you train an AI platform to create music, they will use notes, but they will not use emotions. Still, the human factor is very important. But it makes your life easier now to say, okay, I wanna do this type of music. Then they will start creating it for you. That's the start of your idea. And now, as a musician, it's easier for you to now do a better job of creating the real music. That's my advice.
There's another one.
We have time for one more question. Yes, please. Identify yourself, please.
I'm Jeff Capistrano. I'm
Hi,
Jeff
Jeff.
Capistrano from Digital Edge. I have a question. It says here the AI-driven threat detection. Since AI is really advanced, is also cybersecurity can catch up or can match, say for example, since AI encompasses a lot of, data sets, is cybersecurity right now in the Philippines is also that advanced to, to like cater as well?
You wanna
If
take
there
that
were like
first?
threats, yeah.
I absolutely think so. I mean, it's. Philippines is. I look at the young generation here. It's a powerhouse. It's an IT powerhouse, and I see here many very very capable people that they can and the use of AI is really increasing. So I don't see why it's not going to happen here.
Yeah, for me, it's a combination of people and technology, right? The technology part, it's handled because, you're buying the same products as what they buy in the States, right? So, like, if you go with an EDR solution, the EDR solution already comes with behavioral analytics, machine learning, and AI-driven capabilities to actually enhance the detection level and even the response level of their solutions. So that's from the technology standpoint. From a people standpoint, we already have access to different platforms like ChatGPT, Copilot, and etc. Right? We can even download our own DeepSeek and put it in our laptops and run our own LLMs, right? So those are things that we can already do here in the Philippines, and it's easy to learn because everything is in YouTube. Gone are the days, because when I was starting, I have to buy a book, right? I have to buy a book. I have to get a mentor to help me out with so many things. Right now, everything is on YouTube. We can learn so many things. And whatever they know in the States, we also know in the Philippines. So in terms of threat detection and response, we're actually at par. And sometimes we can even compete against the other countries.
Again, well, it's been developing. Again, Titos can vouch for this because I've been harping on the issue of AI, quantum computing, and all those, right, Titos, from 10 or 15 years back. So then suddenly AI came out, this LLMs. It's powered by, of course, the power of the computing today. Data is largely available, especially in cybersecurity where you get your feeds in your firewalls, in your SOCs, everything, it's there. The challenge is how do you make use of AI in cybersecurity practice, right? AI is still evolving. It's still learning. It depends on how you seed it. It depends on how you train it. It depends on the data set that you feed it, right? So you have to strategize which parts of the data you would like the AI or LLM or CLM, as Yossi said, to train, no? Because you cannot put in everything under the sun, right? Because then you might be seeding it with something that will attack you again, right? But one thing, in terms of cybersecurity practice analysts, one thing that I've observed, I've long been in the industry, the PC revolution back in the 80s brought the PCs or the computing on the desktop, right, in offices. Then we suddenly had these tools, productivity tools. Today we have AI, but it really has never changed. It never displaced jobs, if that is what you're asking, right? It only changes and transforms the job into something else, right?
Absolutely.
So you don't have to, when we use AI for cybersecurity, you don't have to deal with details. You have to look at it more strategically. And that's how it's going to change.
Perfect.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.